Anytime you have a negative emotion, stop and ask yourself, what happened? My partner didn't kiss me hello. What meaning did I give it? They don't love me anymore. What else could it mean? They had a hard day. Come up with one other meaning and then get the event has no inherent meaning. You don't know anything for sure because something happened. Meaning is what we attach to it, right? People always say to me, well, the events only have the meaning I give it. No, they don't. The events don't have meaning. The meaning is still in your mind. So it has that meaning for you, but the events don't have the meaning.
Welcome to the MINDTRX Podcast with breakthrough ideas to live your best life possible and how to make it happen. I'm Paul Scheele, and today we will be joined by Shelly Lefkoe. Shelly Lefkoe is the co-founder of the Lefkoe Institute, a San Francisco Bay Area firm whose mission is to significantly improve the quality of life on the planet. She has helped thousands of clients worldwide recreate their lives by ridding themselves of problems and eliminating emotional patterns. Her programs have reached over 150,000 people worldwide. Hello, Shelly. Good to be with you. Thanks for joining the podcast.
Oh, it is my pleasure. It is so wonderful to be with you.
Oh, we have had quite a history of being together through the years, certainly with the Transformational Leadership Council and all the time with you and your beautiful husband, Morty, that we've had dinners together and hung out. And I'll never forget, I was introduced to the work that we're going to be sharing here by Morty when he showed up for the first time at a TLC meeting.
20 years ago.
Yeah, how about that? And, I want to say I really love your book, Hitting the Wall. Great. It's so easy to follow. Everybody absolutely needs to have this as a part of the way they think about their lives and creating the benefits and changes that they want. And to that point, you work with people to really help make changes so that we can all live into our full expression and into the dreams that we have for our lives. And it's really based on the idea of belief. So before we get into the details of it, let's just take a moment to define in your model of the world, what is a belief or what are beliefs?
Yeah. I love that question. And thank you. Thank you for how beautifully you spoke to what my life is about, having people live as their free expressions and living into their dreams. That was beautiful. So I love the question, Paul, because I read a lot about people who talk about beliefs. 20 years ago, 35 years ago, when we created this, when Morty created this process, people used to say, you mean religious beliefs? What do you mean beliefs? And so a lot of people confuse beliefs and patterns. So they say, I have a belief that I'm a procrastinator. Procrastinating is a pattern. So a belief is a statement about reality that we hold as the truth. A pattern is observable. A belief is not. So a pattern is what you actually want to change. Nobody cares about eliminating beliefs. That's a means to an end. What you care about is getting rid of procrastination, or I can't speak up for myself, or I stay in crappy relationships, or I don't go for it in life, whatever going for it would look like, whether it's in the area of relationships or the area of career. We kind of settle, we kind of stop really playing life full out. And so what my work is about getting rid of the unconscious, mostly unconscious beliefs that keep us from being our full expression of ourselves.
So beliefs are keeping us in the patterns?
Yes. Well, beliefs actually cause the patterns.
Okay, good.
So a pattern, whatever your pattern, there are behavioral patterns and emotional patterns. So an emotional pattern would be, I have anxiety or depression. I worry about things. That's an emotional pattern. A behavioral pattern is I do something I don't want to do, or I don't do something I want to do, or I have something I don't want to have, or I don't want to have something I have. So those are behavioral patterns.
Okay.
Underlying those patterns are these beliefs. So you take a pattern like fear of public speaking. It's the only pattern that has the same beliefs for every person.
No kidding.
I swear to God, I have a client in Saudi Arabia. I have a client in Uganda. If they have a fear of public speaking, it's the same 11 beliefs and conditioning.
Wow.
So,
Okay, I'm getting this, and the distinctions that you're making, I think, are really important. When I say, are there any things that you want to do, you can do, but you're not doing? What's behind that not doing is what I call a disorienting dilemma, where part of me wants to and part of me doesn't. And the part of me that doesn't or pulls me back are those unconscious beliefs. Is that how I'm understanding it?
exactly.
Okay. So one of the things that you say, the difference between your work and traditional self-improvement work is that when we think about improvement, we think about information plus motivation equals change. So if you want to change your life, just get the right information, be sufficiently motivated, rah, rah, let's go, and
Yep.
then the change will take place. But what you
Yeah.
do is you say information plus motivation minus beliefs.
Yes.
So could you say, what is
Yeah.
that subtractive nature of beliefs?
Yeah. It's so interesting. I just did a little kind of workshop with Jim Quick uh, last week, and I asked the people, it was a 30 people mastermind group,
Hmm.
and I asked them, and they were high level people, right? People who are pretty successful. And I said, how many people have ever been to a workshop and learned something fabulous, and you came out jazzed and motivated and like, oh my God, I can't wait. 3 days later, the notes are in the drawer and there was no change. Anybody ever have that experience? Well, every single hand went up, because it is impossible to sustain behavior that's inconsistent with your beliefs.
Ooh, say that again.
It is impossible to sustain behavior that is inconsistent with your beliefs.
And you know what's so cool about that is if you're behaving in a way that's inconsistent with your commitment, what you want, any of that, instantly you now know there's a thread connecting to a self-defeating belief of some kind,
Yeah.
self-limiting.
Yeah.
Right.
I talk a lot about in the book, I talk about watering all the plants, right?
That's a
So if you had
great metaphor.
it's a great metaphor, right? I just came up with it one day and I said, if you had a lot of plants in your house, would you ever water just one? And everyone says no. And I said, why not? And they say, well, because the other ones would die. And I said, or they'd wilt and they'd be hanging. And we look at our lives, and there are people who are workaholics. So the beliefs that underlie workaholism is, so the two most common beliefs that people have, I'll tell you the five, but the two, I'm not good enough and I'm not important. What separates us, what makes us different, are what I call survival strategy beliefs. So I'm not, and this is why I'm going to talk about affirmations. Okay. So here's my belief: I'm not good enough. Right. And I have that. And what makes me good enough is achieving things. And I'll tell you in a minute how beliefs get formed and why they stay with us throughout 15 years of therapy. So here's I'm not good enough. What makes me good enough is achieving things, right? So now
Working hard.
working
Yeah.
hard. So now I have this beach ball that I have to keep underwater. Do you ever try to keep a beach ball underwater?
Yeah, pretty tough.
That's what acting inconsistently with your beliefs is like.
It's
I got
exhausting.
It's exhausting. And if you believe what makes me good enough is working hard or achieving things or being successful in that,
Having people like me, or
having,
yeah,
that's what ran
keep
my,
going.
that was the belief that what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. That's the belief that runs most people's lives, ran my life. We will throw our kids under a bus in a restaurant because we're worried about people that we will never see again, what they think of us. It's insane, right? But when I got rid of that belief, that's when I was able to be my authentic self. When
That's
I could
freedom.
speak in front of 600, that's freedom. Because what people think of me no longer defines me. So it's not that I don't care. If you told me you didn't love me anymore, I would be like, oh my God, I feel really sad. But it doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It doesn't mean anything about me. So that's the power. And I want to get into, before we finish, I really want to give your listeners a tool that will really help them in their lives. So going back to what makes me good enough are my achievements. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know I had a client, he said, I don't know my kids. I keep promising I'm going to be at their events. I don't show up. My second wife is ready to leave me. I'm on the cover of business publications. I'm worth $10 million. When is it going to be enough? Never, because your
Right.
achievements don't make you good enough. Having people think well of you don't make you good enough. Taking care of people. If you're the oldest in a big family, you got acknowledged for taking care of people. So your whole life's about taking care of people. So the thing about beliefs, Paul, is that it keeps you driven and a victim and not at choice.
Nice. Good distinction.
Yeah.
And that's why I also want to make a distinction, because some beliefs are really helpful. There are beliefs that can liberate us. It's not like
Sure.
we have to eliminate beliefs. But a lot of beliefs also limit us. One of the things I really love about your work is you make a distinction about what's reality and what's an abstraction. And a lot of times we see our beliefs as reality. I mean, this is just the way things are. And until we shift our meaning making, how we're making meaning of our lives, well, of course I can't go to my kid's performance. Of course I can't give my wife the time she wants. I'm too busy. I'm an important person. I'm on the cover of the magazine, right? So what is this? How does someone begin to distinguish a difference between what's real and what's just an abstract idea that's become a belief that's running our lives?
Yeah. So the secret sauce to my work is, so I'll make an assertion. You cannot, it isn't, so I don't want to use a double negative. It's impossible to not believe something you think you saw,
Okay. So I
right?
saw a cat. I saw a cat.
And if somebody said to me, Paul Scheele doesn't wear glasses, I'd say, no, he does. And they'd say, no, he doesn't. I'd say, I was with him yesterday and he had glasses. So, you couldn't talk me into it. We think that we see our beliefs in the world. So let me give you an example.
Okay.
You think that Jack, or if we have a mutual friend, Jack, and Jack doesn't like you. And you and I are standing and talking, and Jack walks by and he doesn't say hello to you. You would say to me, see, I told you he doesn't like me. It is as if you just saw Jack doesn't like you. But what you really saw was Jack walk by you without saying hello.
So then we have to put some kind of
Yeah.
meaning to that.
Yes. So hold that thought. I'm going to
Got
go there
it.
in a second, but I want to back up first.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a distinction between two words, beliefs and meaning, because they're
Okay.
the same and they're different. So when you come into, so first of all, anything you could see has a color, shape, and location. Okay. My water bottle has a color, shape, and location. And you look, and everybody listening, look around. Anything you can see has a color, shape, and location, right? You cannot see a belief That's why I said you could see a pattern. I can see you procrastinate. I can see you not speak up for yourself. I could see you be anxious or depressed, but you cannot see I'm not good enough, or life is hard, or I'll never get what I want, or I don't matter, or money is scarce and hard to get. You cannot see beliefs.
Nice.
When I take people back, right? So we come into this world as a little ball of consciousness, and we don't know anything about ourselves, life, people, or the world. And we show up in this little world. It's like, the elephant story. Depending on where you touch the elephant, that's what you think an elephant is.
Yeah.
Well, we come into this world, and there's a mother and a mother, a mother and a father, a single mother, whatever your family structure was. And every child, now you have children, but you have grandchildren. And when your grandchildren see your children, they run to them. And I ask people, Paul, in every country around the world, literally, what does your child do when you walk in the house? And they say, they run to me. And I say, what do they want? They want three things: affection, and I love that it's alliterated: affection, attention, and acknowledgement. Every child alive wants those three things.
I think every adult alive would really appreciate those two.
So now I ask, what is the one word question that every child asks all day long?
Why?
Why? And people who don't have children answer that. Why can't I live up to my parents' expectations? Why are they criticizing me? Oh, I see. I'm not good enough. Why is my father working all the time and my mother's never home? Why are they looking at their iPhones while they're talking to me?
Why did they get a divorce?
Oh, that's right. Why did they get a divorce?
It's me.
I guess relationships don't work, or it's my fault, or
Exactly.
I'm bad. I'm not good enough. If you ignore your kid, I'm not important. If you don't give him kisses and hugs, I'm not lovable. If you're complaining and, oh God, we can't pay the bills, they think they're seeing life is hard, money is scarce and hard to get. And so these beliefs stay with us throughout our whole lives because we think we saw them.
So
Now,
the first response is, ouch. And the second response is, I'm so glad you figured out how to shift that.
How to get rid of them. Exactly. Now, now I'll go to the next thing you said. I'm going to make a distinction, okay? I'm going to make a bunch of distinctions, but let me start with this one. Beliefs get formed in the past. Meaning gets formed in the moment.
Oh, you know what? I gotta stop you for a sec, because I was familiar with your work when Morty introduced it to me. And I remember him calling me up and said, Paul, there's this next thing about occurrence.
Yes.
And when he started speaking about it, I just went, oh, yes. Meaning occurs. We place meaning, right? And I just love this as such a cool differentiator. Yeah.
It is because, and that's why we want to get rid of beliefs, because
beliefs are the past.
Determine the meaning that you're going to give events. So if you have a belief, dogs are dangerous, and a dog comes into the room, you're going to give it the meaning he's going to bite you, and then you're going to feel fear. So, second distinction, all of our feelings come from the meaning we give events.
Okay, all feelings.
All feelings, all emotions come
from the meaning
we give events. So, man is walking down the street, walks past you. It has no meaning. What are you going to feel?
Yep, not a thing.
Not a thing. You give it the meaning he's dangerous. What are you going to feel?
Ooh, fear.
You give it the meaning he'll protect me. What are you going to feel?
I want to be around this guy.
You feel safe, right?
Right.
So it's the meaning that you give events that determine your emotions.
And you're going to finish a thought there. I have an important story that will amplify this. So go ahead, finish that.
Perfect. So now here's okay, so everybody just breathe, and I'm going to say something and I'm going to explain it so you don't get really upset. Events. So if you're in a room and everybody do this with me. If you're in a room and somebody you know comes in and doesn't say hello to you, what might you automatically think?
Me?
Yeah,
They're self-absorbed.
perfect. Now, everybody listening said they're rude, they didn't see me, they don't like me, I did something wrong. Where did all of those meanings come from?
Beliefs.
Yes, ultimately, but the meaning comes from your mind.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't like me. It's going to be a bad day. That comes from your mind, right?
Yeah, that's why all of our suffering is created by
Exactly.
mind.
So
Right.
no one cares, right? So if meaning is in your mind, in your head, do events have inherent meaning?
Not at all.
No. Another way of saying that is it's not that they don't matter, it's not that they don't have consequences, but events have no inherent meaning. In other words, we don't know anything for sure because something happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's what no meaning implies. My husband died. Paul knows he was the most exquisite human being. We had an amazing marriage. I was devastated when he died.
Yeah, everybody knew he was an exquisite human being, right?
And the fact that he died doesn't mean, and here are some of the meanings I gave it, I'm going to starve to death. I don't know how to run a business. I didn't know the difference between a P&L and a balance sheet. I'm going to starve to death. Well, maybe I'll never be happy again. I'm never going to love again. No one's going to want me. So the events have no meaning. We don't know anything for sure because something happens. Now, you tell me your story, and then I'll tell you how to get rid of any negative emotion in 1 minute.
Oh, that's cool. I hate to put it off, but there was a woman that was at a gathering and she found out that the surprise party for the person coming to that gathering was that the woman coming had a dog, and she was really freaked out because she has horrible allergic responses to dogs. She has gone anaphylactic and she's been hospitalized, and she was going on about this. I looked at her and I said, do you remember when that first happened? Were you under stress? And was there a dog in the area?
Yeah.
And it was so classic. She was in a stressful situation. There was a dog in that same place. She broke out in the hive. She started going into anaphylaxis. It doesn't have anything to do with the dog. So I said, would you like to have that removed? She said, you could do that? I said, sure, come on into the other room. I'll do a quick session with you. Remove the belief, and guess what? The dog was loving her up. She had no problem. I talked to her for a couple of days after, never had another problem. It was just gone.
Yeah.
But to the point that you're making, it's more than just a shift in our behavior. It can shift our biology.
Yeah,
It can shift
for sure.
everything about us. For example, doctors like to say, oh, this treatment's going to hurt a lot. And there's probably going to be a lot of pain and swelling afterwards.
Yeah.
And there's going to be discomfort. And, there's only a percent of people that survive this. Here's the mortality rates, right? And they give you all this information. Why? Because they just want to prepare for the worst. Unfortunately, what does the mind do with all of that, right? It begins placing all kind of meaning. It starts putting it all on them, and it creates all kinds of obstacles to the very healing that the body is perfectly capable of having, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why doctors very rarely now will say you have 3 months to live. They don't
Right.
do it anymore because guess what?
Yeah.
If you believe that's true. So again, beliefs get formed in the past. Beliefs, you have to go through not have to, but the way I get rid of beliefs is you go through a process. But you get rid of an emotion in a moment. Anytime you have a negative emotion, stop and ask yourself. I'm going to give you 2 ways to do it. My way, I mean, there's 6 ways. We have a course where we teach this. It's called the Occurring Course. What happened? My partner didn't kiss me hello. What meaning did I give it? They don't love me anymore. What else could it mean? They had a hard day. Come up with one other meaning and then get the event has no inherent meaning. You don't know anything for sure because something happened, right?
Okay, so we start with whatever feeling is going on.
Yes.
We notice what the interpretation is. We come up with some alternative interpretations.
Yeah. First the event. And you asked me before, what's the difference between, what you can see, what's real?
What's an abstraction and what's reality?
Right. An event is real. Okay. Somebody walked by and didn't say hello. You can see that. That's real. My husband died. That's real. That's reality, right? Meaning is what we attach to it, right? People always say to me, well, the events only have the meaning I give it. No, they don't. The events don't have meaning. The meaning you give it is still in your mind. So it has that meaning for you, but the events don't have the meaning.
Oh, good. I love that. Yeah, a really good distinction. Okay. Yeah. So we have a feeling. We think about the event that occurred just before the feeling. We recognize what meaning we assign to it, that it's okay, and we think of alternative interpretations.
Yeah, just one. So you see, it's not the truth, and it kind of, you shift how you look at it, and then get the second way, Morty's way, which when you're very smart like you and my husband, you can do it this way. What happened? The big sale didn't come through. What meaning did I give it? My business is going to go under. Just stop and get, my business is going to go under is in your mind. It's not in the events.
Nice.
And just make that distinction. And that's all you have to do.
Wow. Yeah. And the wonderful thing about recognizing this, it brings me back to the work that my teacher, Arnold Patton, who I started studying with in the early 80s, he ended up being a coach of mine, worked with me for 1.5 years. And what he kept saying was, you can have anything, you can have it all based on your beliefs. And so every time I would come up with a self-limiting belief, he would whack me with a very simple statement, which was, if that's what you believe.
That's great.
Because then I get to see that I'm actually creating the result I'm living.
Yeah.
Because it's consistent with the beliefs that I'm holding. So really, we're looking at shifting these kinds of beliefs.
Not shifting. I don't use the word shifting. I use the word eliminating.
Eliminate. Okay.
I also just want to make a quick distinction because I know you'll love this because I know you so well.
Yes.
You made a statement at the beginning, which I think is accurate. There, you have beliefs that work for you. Richard Branson might have the belief there's no amount of money you can have, that you can't have. There are beliefs, I have a belief that I don't catch things. My mother always told me that. So I don't get the flu. I didn't get COVID. I just don't catch things, right? We don't have allergies and we don't get depressed. Those were things my mother told me. And I just believe her, right? So there are beliefs that support your life.
Okay.
However, my husband said, all beliefs by definition are limiting.
Yes.
Because if something is true, then something is not. A belief is a box, right?
Yeah.
And inside the box, people can't be trusted. Trusting people is not a possibility. But when you eliminate that box and you eliminate the belief, what changes is now there are lots of possibilities. You still have to choose them. See, I did a money course for learning strategies.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about money beliefs. You can get rid of the belief that money is evil, or money's not spiritual, or people with money are cruel, or whatever your beliefs are about money, and get rid of them. But you still have to choose other possibilities. You have to choose to do things that will now generate money. It's not going to just fall from the sky because you eliminated a belief.
Well, maybe it could.
It could,
Pennies from
absolutely.
pennies
Pennies
from
from
heaven.
heaven.
Okay, so I want to take a little bit of a side turn on all this, because every once in a while I will encounter a belief in someone else, and it's not mine to do anything with. However, I can sense that it might not lead to better choices in our society. So, for example, people in more holistic health think all Western medicine is bad, right? And they won't go to treatment or diagnosis when something's wrong with them. And if they had, they might have detected the problem, which ended up killing them, right? A friend of mine just got the diagnosis of a stage 4 cancer. And if he hadn't had that belief about not wanting to ever go see a medical doctor, he might have had a different outcome, right?
Totally.
Caught it sooner.
Totally.
Another one is the idea that the election was stolen. Another one would be climate science is fake. What can a person do when you encounter those kind of beliefs? You're not going to change someone else's belief.
Nope. Yeah, that's one of the hardest questions, Paul. And that's what my husband was so committed to, peace in the Middle East. Jews are bad. Arabs are bad. They want to kill, all Jews want to kill me, or all Arabs want to kill me. Those are beliefs.
Well, and how many tens of thousands of years do these beliefs stay in human relations without ever changing?
Yes, people always say to me, "Oh, I've had this belief for a really long time. It's ingrained." People
No,
always
you
say to me, "It's
inherited
ingrained."
it.
And I say, if I open you up, is that belief in there? Is it in your liver or your solar plexus? It's not ingrained, it's in your mind. But why it's there is Israel's this tiny little country. All the people around them seem to not like them. So the kids grow up with the belief Arabs hate us. And that's not true. There are Arabs that don't hate them. And there are all kinds of, and you know better than anybody, there are all kinds of peace things and Arab and Israeli things that they're putting together in schools and kids and whatever. So I don't know the answer. What I do know for certain is sometimes you have to allow someone their journey, right? So we have a very, very good friend. We have a couple of friends who've had cancer, and a few of them did treatment and they're fine. And all the ones who believe Western medicine is bad, it's just bad, and I'm not getting chemo, including my husband, are dead. So our beliefs are very, very powerful. And for me, the whole idea of getting rid of beliefs is, again, make choices based on what you truly want. My husband did not want to live with the side effects of chemo. He didn't want to have his brain or his neuropathy or whatever it was. He made a choice. It wasn't just based on Western medicine is bad, right? And at the end, he did do treatment.
Yeah.
But we do have friends who had that belief. Now, I said to Bonnie, may I talk to you about this? And she said no.
Mm. The choice she wasn't willing to take a look at.
She was not willing to take a look at it and
Yeah.
do it differently. Now, if I had an opportunity, we worked with prisoners and we
Yes.
produced statistically significant behavior changes in, I think it was 15 weeks in incarcerated men.
Yeah, and I
And
really want to underscore that what you're talking about is in your book and it's beautifully presented and statistics really worth taking a look at. So thank
and
you.
fascinating how your beliefs correlate with your behavior.
Yeah.
A very dangerous belief that parents impart on their children by punishing them is, if I do something bad, I deserve to be punished. And this guy had the belief, if I do something bad, I deserve to be punished. And the way to be punished is to beat. So he became a wife beater and he was in prison for beating women. And when he did this, got rid of this belief, he said, it never occurred to me to not beat, but now I see that there are other ways, right?
So that's an important part of this work is that while the beliefs are running our behaviors, they also prevent us from seeing choices other than what it is that we're holding as belief.
Totally.
Got it. Yeah.
Totally. Inside a box, you
Right.
can't see possibilities. I had the most fascinating experience. I had a very good friend whose father was a violent alcoholic and used to beat up her mother. And we were in Fire Island, and I was telling a story about Morty and I that was very, very beautiful, something he did and said. And all of a sudden she said, Shelly, so she and I had just had a session and we got rid of the belief men are selfish, men are violent, women don't have power, men have all the power. And she got rid of all the relationships don't work. We had a couple of sessions. And so she said, I've heard you tell that story. This is the third time. It's the first time I ever heard it.
Mm.
I never heard it before. So she heard the words, but
Yeah.
she couldn't get it.
There was no meaning in it.
There, exactly. But like you said, you can't see something inconsistent with your beliefs. So if you see a man who's a good man, you'll say, oh, either he's full of shit or he's just an anomaly, or there's only one Paul Scheele in the world. Nobody else is like that. So you can't see, oh, there are great men because you think you saw there aren't.
Nice. Good. So
Yeah.
we're really talking about liberating humanity to make the choices that are going to work for us going forward.
And I really don't want to get political, but I do want to illuminate something because it's the power of beliefs.
Yeah.
Donald Trump said, I could kill somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. He believes that.
Hmm.
And no matter what he does, he gets away with it. I mean, so far. So, and the people who believe in any politician, they believe the election is stolen, and no amount of evidence can get them to see that it's not, because they think they saw Donald Trump said the election was stolen and they think they saw it was.
Okay.
And as long as they do, it's not going anyplace.
And so every feeling comes up. There's an event just before that feeling, right?
That
So
you give meaning.
that's right. We're
Yeah.
putting meaning. So I want to underscore this idea that you, in your book, give a reference to a website. Also on this podcast, we have that website shown, and you're going to,
Eliminatebeliefs.com. Yep.
exactly, and you're going to take us through the process of eliminating a belief. Now, when I hear you do your work, it's not just a belief that's associated with a dysfunctional pattern. It's usually a series of them. So is it
Yes.
this, are you inviting us to go through it as many times as we want, or how does that
Sure.
work?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll pick one of three most common beliefs that people have.
All right.
I'm not good enough, I'm not important, and mistakes and failures are bad. And this is important to say, evidence doesn't get rid of beliefs. I worked with 5 Harvard PhDs who had the belief I'm stupid. So the first one, when that happened for the first time, I said, wait a minute, don't you have a PhD from Harvard? And he
Yeah.
goes, oh yeah. He said, I conned my way through Harvard.
Oh my goodness. So it's what we call the imposter syndrome, right?
Totally.
Just stays
Totally.
with them. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So even if you know mistakes, I knew mistakes and failures weren't bad. I could have taught a course. I read every book. I know the names of all the books. I know about Michael Jordan. I know every story. It didn't matter until I got rid of the belief mistakes and failures are bad. It ran my life. I
Thank
wouldn't,
you.
yeah,
Thank you. So this is an important lesson for me. Your work isn't about changing beliefs or shifting beliefs. It's eliminating beliefs so that we can see other choices that are available.
yeah, yeah. So you could go through the process over and over, just plugging in your own beliefs. Now, what you
Sweet.
just said is important. You can eliminate beliefs, but you want to eliminate a pattern. So the secret is finding the specific beliefs that cause the specific pattern, because when you get rid of the beliefs, the pattern goes away. When I talk to new clients, the first thing I say to them is, I'm a results girl, right? It's like paraliminals, right? They produce results. You lay there, I can't go to sleep. I'm listening to my paraliminal. I hear my friend Paul in one ear and the other ear, and then I go to sleep. So we want to produce results, right? It's very
Exactly.
important to us to not just take people down roads where they're going to end up with nothing. So,
Beautiful.
so getting rid of the patterns is the results.
Excellent. So we're going to wrap it up. As
Oh,
much as you know, you and I could continue chatting about this and sharing cool ideas forever and ever. It's
yeah.
such good work. And as a parting idea, just to help our listener understand that they really do have the power to make these changes within them, what is perhaps one of the overarching benefits that people report about the Lefkoe method and the occurring method? What the occurring process? What is it that they can take with them?
Yeah.
I don't want to say to believe, but perhaps as a as a choice going forward, how to live their lives.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 answers to that. When you get rid of beliefs, so when I got rid of the belief, what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. I
Hmm.
could live my authentic self. I could wear the kind of outfit I want to wear without worrying, what's this one going to say and what's that one going to think? And I can put out a video and know somebody may not like it, or there are people who love me because I say to them, you want to talk? Go to therapy. You don't talk here. And my clients love that. There are people who wouldn't work with me if I paid them, right? So when you get rid of beliefs, what people say is, I'm free. I feel free. I feel free to speak up. I feel free to express myself. I feel free to walk out. My daughter, pretty cute little daughter who's not even certified yet. I have 2 daughters, both involved in the work. But my daughter in Hawaii um, had this client, and the woman just left an abusive marriage, which she said she told my daughter she wasn't going to leave because he'll kill her, and she is actually hiding out now. But she left the marriage and she left a toxic job in 6 sessions. So I was like, and that's my kid who's not even certified yet. So that's what people get from eliminating beliefs. They get
Freedom.
freedom. When you eliminate, when you learn and you start practicing the occurring, get rid of beliefs, you won't give meaning. So that's easy. However, things happen to us all day long. When people do the occurring course, Paul, they come out like gurus. And what I say I got from the occurring is no one can make me feel anything. You can't make me angry. You can't make me screaming. So my father and my brother used to say things to me like, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And I would get defensive. And, you can't talk to me like that. And blah, blah, blah. And so they owned me. They could press my buttons, right? I was a little victim. Now they could say anything they want. And when I got rid of the belief, what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. I don't need their approval anymore. So it's like me watching a puppet show. Oh, they just called me stupid. Oh, isn't that interesting? But it has no meaning because the belief went away. I don't give meaning. And now I'm free. People say, I don't fight with my spouse anymore. I don't care. I'm not afraid of my boss anymore. Because when you stop, you can't stop giving meaning. We're meaning-making machines, but you can dissolve the meaning that you give. So that's another distinction. I have led the course 28 times, so I don't give a lot of meaning. But for most of us, we want to dissolve the meaning that we give, and then you're free. You have the power. Nobody can get you anymore. And I love not being a victim. That's the best.
Yeah.
And then there's something we haven't talked about yet, which I'll say in 1 minute. At the end of every session, I say to people, where did that belief come from, or those beliefs? And because we eliminate a bunch in a session, I made them up. Oh, I create my beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not important. I have a hard life is hard. I am these beliefs. Then you go, no, you created these beliefs. But notice your life is consistent with your beliefs. So if you create your beliefs and your beliefs create your life, what does that make you? And they say, I'm the creator of my life.
Right on.
And then I have them close their eyes and see, you come into this world as a little ball of consciousness. Before you create any distinctions about yourself, life, or people, do any exist? No. In that space, what's possible? What limitations do you have in that space?
Right.
And you get none.
Beautiful.
So what you get from that is you are limitless possibility, and you created a creation called Paul and Shelly who have limitations, but you created them.
Gorgeous. Yay, applause all around. Drop the mic, walk off the stage. Thank you so much, Shelly. This is beautiful. I think you've packed it all in there. Thanks so much. Really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you for having me, honey. I love you so much.
Peace and blessings.
Yeah.
Mwah. I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Shelly Lefkoe. You can learn more about Shelly at www.mortylefkoe.com. That's www.mortylefkoe.com. And now in the second part of the podcast, it's just you and me. I'll tell you how to use the Paraliminal sessions in the MINDTRX app to easily handle obstacles and move toward the success you want, especially as it relates to Shelly's message. If you're new to the relaxing Paraliminal audio sessions, they use breakthrough technologies to activate your whole mind in only 20 minutes to help improve any area of your life. Let's get going. Hi, and welcome to this follow-on to my conversation with Shelly Lefkoe, where we were exploring the idea of eliminating beliefs, not just changing beliefs and shifting beliefs, which is how I had mentally thought of it, but actually eliminating beliefs, because then you get to really recognize that from a place of freedom, you can choose your way forward. You're not limited to the beliefs that have held you back from the expression of your life that you always have been meant to have. You're born into the world as a creator of the world that you see. Here's your opportunity to really live into that. So exciting dialogue, I felt, and the ways Paraliminals can help you with these processes and get you to where you want to go make a ton of sense to me. And I've taken it in 4 different areas. First is the idea of eliminating beliefs. Now, I don't have a paraliminal yet with Shelly Lefkoe, at least not at the time that this is recorded. However, I do have a couple of paraliminals that really may be able to assist in the idea of eliminating beliefs. The other area is framing our experiences in new ways. In other words, changing the way we put meaning on the experiences that we have, meaning that occurs. Third is choosing a new way forward in any area of your life where you may have been blocked in the past. And finally, creating your life. So let's get into it. First area, eliminating beliefs. I do have a paraliminal called belief. It's perfect for this. Specifically, the session A part of that paraliminal recording is about taking any self-limiting belief that may be operating in your life and shifting it by framing each part of the events that put it into your life, framing it differently and recognizing, whoa, there are a lot of other ways of interpreting what actually happened in those early moments in my life where I was forming those beliefs. I have a choice about it. The second paraliminal that could be very helpful is called breaking the habit. Now, the first line in breaking the habit is you can't break a habit. You can only establish a new one. But to the point that Shelly was making, it's about patterns. There's beliefs and there's patterns. And our beliefs support the patterns that we have been engaging in. If you want to break the habit of any pattern, you have the ability to do that. So that paraliminal will take you step by step in a way, producing a new behavioral repertoire, a new set of behaviors you could engage in, choices you can make to create the life that you're going for. Very powerful one. The second area is the area I called framing our experiences in new ways, because whatever frame we put around an experience becomes, in essence, meaning that holds a belief in place. So if we want to shift that and eliminate beliefs and have new ways of going forward, you can do so. And the new history generator paraliminal is the ideal one for that, because you really see that the beliefs that you hold, the meanings that you've made on your life experience up until now have been created as a result of a lack of information about what actually happened. And as memory drifts and our beliefs about those memories stay in place, we can actually shift that. The deletions, distortions, and generalizations that occurred to create the memory that we have, you can shift that. You can have a new frame around what is happening in your life today, a new frame around what happened to you in the past, and realize that you're the one that's framing it. You can create a new way of being. Another paraliminal, very helpful, is called fresh start. It's the idea, Shelly talked about it, that beliefs are about the past, meaning is what we create in the now going forward. And so fresh start is taking us in this now moment, realizing every new moment is a fresh start to create the life that we're choosing to live. Really good one. I did it with Bill Harris. I just love it. And the third paraliminal in this area of framing our experiences in new ways is the self-love paraliminal, where you connect with your past self and your future self in this now moment. You get all the parts of you together to choose how you would like to live into the future. Really neat. So it's a healing, a blessing, and a releasing of the past, and it's a welcoming of the future that you're choosing to live. Great paraliminal. The third area is choosing a new way forward. So we've talked about eliminating beliefs, talked about framing our experiences in new ways. Now that you have that freedom, what will you choose? So certainly the new action generator paraliminal is a great one. You've decided what it is, put it into action, live into it, make it happen. Second one is called new behavior generator, which in a way, session A on that paraliminal is about framing whatever is going on with you in a new way. It's a technique called reframing, which looks at the positive intention of the behaviors you're now engaging in and says, could you get those positive intentions met in new and creative ways? Obviously, the answer is yes, but how? No, you can allow your mind to generate really cool new ways of thinking about getting your needs met. And then session B on the new behavior generator is about installing those new ways of being, doing in your life. And it's through a process called modeling. So you take someone who really does it well and you engage in those similar behaviors. Great paraliminal. I call it a self-improvement course in a single paraliminal. It's really good. The third paraliminal, which is kind of a cool one, is that you might not really have on your radar. It's called instantaneous personal magnetism. So this life of vitality and richness and power that you could live generally is getting leaked out because we engage in behaviors that aren't really supportive. So you can let go of those old behaviors and really establish how you want to show up. So like the new action generator, like the new behavior generator, instantaneous personal magnetism really allows you to show up in your power every single day. The fourth and final area is the idea of creating your life. Now, honestly, every paraliminal is devoted to helping you create your life. So I think you could pick any area of your life where you would like new behaviors, find a new way forward, choose a new, create the life that you imagine, and there's a paraliminal that will help you with that. Because paraliminals are helping you gain access to resources that are here. And because you are the creator of your life, get access to those resources and start creating it. That said, the top of the list of paraliminals in this area would be prosperity, because it really helps you remember the universe is abundant. You have access to that abundance. Use prosperity paraliminal to create your life as you want. The second one, and again, this one might not be on your radar, it's called Youthful Vitality. Youthful Vitality. Basically, it's created using a science called neoteny, which is the science of the retention of juvenile characteristics into adulthood. In other words, what is a childlike curiosity, right? What is a childlike joyfulness to live each day? And so I think there's 13 different qualities that you can choose from in order to help you create the life that you want, resources that you might not have been getting access to, which will really help you take the next steps forward. So Youthful Vitality, if you've never heard it, and remember the little case card that goes with it, the little manual that attends it, will describe all of these qualities and how you could use them. So check that out as well as you're listening to the Youthful Vitality Paraliminal. Well, that's it. Eliminate beliefs that don't serve you and choose the life that you want to live. It's a pleasure working with you. Enjoy paraliminal technology on your MINDTRX app. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining me today. I applaud your willingness to maximize your potential. You can easily use the Paraliminal audio sessions in the MINDTRX app to stimulate your non-conscious mind, that is your inner mind, to reduce any resistance in your life and to propel you toward the success you want. Go to www.mindtrx.com/go. These amazing audio tools have helped millions, and I encourage you to bring them into your world today. Be sure to be back for more episodes of the MINDTRX Podcast. You'll find insightful conversations with authors, experts, and thought leaders, all devoted to improving your life's experience. Thank you again for being here on our MINDTRX Podcast.